The city never truly slept. Glass towers reflected endless streams of headlights. Street vendors shouted over traffic. University students rushed between buses with dreams too big for their pockets. Somewhere beneath the lights and noise lived a young woman named Aisha. At 22, she carried hope like sunlight. She had just graduated with a degree in architecture. Professors praised her talent. Employers admired her discipline. Neighbors smiled whenever she walked past because she greeted everyone by name. People said she had the kind of heart that made others believe tomorrow would be better. But no one saw the darkness growing behind the smiles of the 4 women she trusted most. Every morning before sunrise, Aisha helped her mother arrange food on a wooden stall beside one of the busiest roads in the city. Her widowed mother, Zainab, had sold oranges, bananas, and roasted groundnuts for years after her husband died from illness. Her hands were rough. Her back constantly ached. Yet every evening she smiled when Aisha returned from university. "My daughter," she often whispered. "One day you will build houses so beautiful that people will forget I ever sold food under the hot sun." Aisha always laughed. "No, Mama. They will remember you. Every building I designed belongs to you." Inside their tiny rented home lived 12-year-old Musa. To him, Aisha was more than a sister. She was everything. She helped him with homework. She bought him second-hand storybooks. Whenever bullies bothered him, she marched to the school without fear. One evening Musa handed her a drawing. It showed a large white house with flowers. "I made this for you." Aisha smiled. "For me? When you become rich, we'll all live here." She hugged him tightly. "No." He frowned. "No. We'll build something even better." Their laughter filled the small house. Outside, rain began to fall. Inside, happiness still existed. None of them knew they had only days left together. The job offer arrived on a Monday morning. A prestigious architectural company wanted Aisha immediately. The salary was enough to change everything. She cried. Her mother cried harder. Neighbors celebrated. Even her closest friends embraced her. Fatima smiled. "You deserve this." Lillian hugged her. "We are so proud." Grace clapped excitedly. "You've inspired us." Nadia wiped fake tears. "Our sister is finally succeeding." Aisha believed every word. She had no reason not to. They had studied together, shared meals together, prayed together, dreamed together. She loved them. Behind closed doors, hatred waited. Fatima slammed her phone onto the table. "I'm tired of pretending." Grace folded her arms. "Everywhere we go, people compare us to Aisha." Lillian stared through the apartment window. "She's prettier. Smarter," Nadia added. "Now she's richer." Silence filled the luxury apartment. Then Fatima whispered the sentence that destroyed 5 lives. "As long as Aisha exists, will never matter." No one argued. No one walked away. Instead, they began planning. That Saturday they invited her to celebrate. The apartment overlooked the glittering skyline. Music played softly. Expensive food covered the table. They laughed. Took selfies. Posted videos online. To the world they looked like sisters. Fatima secretly poured crushed sleeping pills into Aisha's drink. To new beginnings. Everyone raised their glasses. Aisha smiled. To friendship. She drank. Minutes later the room began spinning. "I don't feel." Her words faded. Her legs weakened. She grabbed the table. "Maybe I need air." Grace blocked the door. Aisha frowned. "What are you doing?" Fatima's smile disappeared. "You really don't know?" Aisha blinked slowly. "What?" "You stole everything from us." Her voice shook. "I don't understand." Lillian stepped forward. "You always had to be the best." I never competed with you. Liar. Nadia shoved her violently. Aisha crashed onto the floor. Pain exploded through her body. Please. Fatima kicked her ribs. You made everyone forget us. I loved you. Grace picked up a heavy metal decoration. You loved yourself. The first blow shattered Aisha's shoulder. She screamed. Blood spread across the white floor. She crawled toward them. Not away. Toward them. Still believing they would stop. Sisters. Another strike. Another scream. I don't want to die. No answer. Only more blows. Her breathing became shallow. She reached toward Fatima. Her fingers trembled. If I ever hurt you. Tears streamed down her face. I'm sorry. Fatima hesitated. Only for a second. Then she pressed a pillow over Aisha's face. The room echoed with muffled cries. Weak hands searched desperately for mercy. The struggling stopped. Silence. 4 women stared at the body. No one spoke. No one cried. Before dawn they wrapped her body in plastic. They drove outside the city to an abandoned construction site. Beneath broken concrete they buried her. Fatima whispered coldly. Now we are finally free. None of them noticed the wind suddenly stop. None of them had a heartbeat that no longer belonged to the living. Darkness surrounded Aisha. She opened her eyes. She stood beside her own grave. Confused. Alone. She looked down. Her body remained buried beneath the earth. She screamed. Nobody heard. She ran toward home. Her feet never touched the ground. Her mother sat on the porch. The light remained on. Aisha. Zainab looked toward the gate. Nobody stood there. I thought I heard your voice. Aisha cried. I'm here, Mama. She reached for her mother. Her hands passed through empty air. She screamed until the sky turned gray. No one heard. Days passed. Then weeks. Posters covered walls. News stations broadcast her photograph. Police search rivers. Hospitals. Forest. Nothing. Every day Zainab walked through the city carrying Aisha's picture. Have you seen my daughter? Most people shook their heads. Some cried with her. Eventually her feet blistered. Then bled. Still she searched. Every evening she left the porch light on. My daughter knows the way home. Musa refused to celebrate his birthday. His mother placed a small cake on the table. He stared at the empty chair. I'll wait. For what? For Aisha. His voice broke. She promised she'd sing for me. He pushed the cake away. I don't want birthdays anymore. Aisha watched from the corner. Her soul shattered. She begged heaven to let her hold him. Nothing answered. Instead, something answered from the darkness. Pain. Betrayal. Rage. The emotions consumed her. Her reflection changed. Her beautiful face twisted. Blood covered her skin. Her broken bones remained broken. Her eyes became endless darkness. The girl who loved everyone disappeared. Something else opened its eyes. Fatima woke to whispering. Aisha. She searched her bedroom. Nothing. The whisper returned. Sister. The voice came from inside her wardrobe. She opened it. Only clothes. Then every hanger began swinging. By themselves. A cold hand touched her shoulder. She turned. The mirror reflected Aisha standing behind her. Her face was crushed. Blood dripped from her mouth. You said we were sisters. Fatima screamed. The reflection smiled. The lights exploded. Darkness swallowed the room. Police found Fatima the next morning. She was kneeling before the shattered mirror. Hundreds of cuts covered her body. Glass fragments surrounded her. On the wall someone had written in blood, "Sisters don't kill sisters." No fingerprints were found. The city panicked. Detectives Ibrahim Komara and Esther Ko took over the investigation. Coincidence? Esther asked. Ibrahim studied the message. No. Someone knows what happened to Aisha. Grace fled to another city. She checked into a hotel. Locked every door. Closed every curtain. At midnight footsteps echoed across the ceiling. Then inside her room, Aisha's voice whispered, "You held the door shut." Grace covered her ears. "I'm sorry." "You watched." The hotel room transformed. She stood inside the apartment again. Aisha crawled toward her. Bleeding. Crying. "Sister, help me." Grace tried opening the door. It would not move. Exactly as she had done to Aisha. The room filled with invisible hands. They dragged Grace across the floor. Her fingernails tore away as she struggled. The next morning hotel staff found her body. Her hands were bloody. She lay beside the locked door. Her face frozen in horror. Lillian stopped sleeping. Every mirror reflected Aisha. Every phone call carried breathing. Every dream replayed the murder. She finally confessed everything to a priest. "I killed my best friend," he gasped. Before he could respond, every candle inside the church extinguished. Aisha appeared at the altar. Her broken arm pointed toward Lillian. "You watched me beg." The church bells rang violently. Witnesses outside heard screams. When they entered, Lillian hung suspended several feet above the floor by unseen hands. She whispered one final sentence. "Aisha." Then every bone in her body snapped. One after another. Exactly as hers had. Nadia tried leaving the country. Inside the airport restroom she washed her face. The water turned red. The mirror cracked. Aisha stood behind her. "Where are you going?" Nadia ran. Passengers watched in confusion. She screamed at someone no one else could see. Invisible footsteps followed her. Across the terminal. Onto the runway. She collapsed before an approaching aircraft. When investigators examined the scene, they discovered one sentence scratched into the concrete. "You buried me alive in silence." Only one remained. Fatima. The one who planned everything. She hid inside the abandoned apartment. Rain hammered the windows. Electricity failed. She laughed nervously. "You aren't real." A voice answered. "I was." Aisha emerged from darkness. Not walking. Floating. Every wound remained. Every tear remained. Fatima fell to her knees. "Please forgive me." Aisha stared silently. "You begged me to?" "I was jealous. I loved you." "I know." Those words hurt more than any scream. The apartment transformed. Fatima found herself reliving the murder. Except this time. She became Aisha. She felt every blow. Every kick. Every betrayal. Every desperate breath. She cried the same words. "Sisters, please." No one saved her. By sunrise police discovered Fatima lying exactly where Aisha had died. Tears covered her face. Her heart had stopped from terror. Detective Ibrahim gathered the evidence. Hidden messages. Deleted chats. Security footage. Financial records. Witness statements. The truth became undeniable. The four friends had murdered Aisha. The city mourned again. People placed flowers beneath her missing persons posters. Students held candlelight vigils. Parents warned their children that envy could become evil. Still, Aisha remained trapped. Her revenge was complete. Yet every night she watched her mother sit beside the porch light. Waiting. waiting for a daughter who could never walk home. Justice had punished the guilty. It had healed nothing. Months later, heavy rain exposed part of a skeleton beneath the abandoned construction site. Workers called police. Detective Ibrahim arrived. DNA confirmed the truth. Aisha had finally been found. Thousands attended the funeral. The city fell silent. Zainab stood beside the coffin. She gently touched her daughter's photograph. My beautiful girl. Her voice barely existed. I kept the light on every night. Tears fell onto the wood. I'm sorry I couldn't find you sooner. Musa placed the childhood drawing of the dream house inside the coffin. You promised we'd build it together. His shoulders shook. I'll still become someone you'd be proud of. As the grave was filled, sunlight broke through dark clouds. For the first time since her death, Aisha stood beside her family without blood covering her face. She looked whole again. Young. Beautiful. Peaceful. She reached toward her mother one final time. This time Zainab suddenly looked up. Though she could not truly see her, she smiled through tears. Goodbye, my daughter. The words echoed across both worlds. The chains around Aisha's soul dissolved. A warm light opened before her. She looked once more at the family she loved beyond death. I never stopped loving you. Then she stepped into the light. The brightness faded. The wind became still. The porch light at her mother's house went out for the last time. Not because hope had died. Because Aisha had finally found her way home. 4 years afterward, the city remembered her story. Not as a ghost. Not as a legend. But as a daughter whose brightest dream was stolen by jealousy, whose love survived betrayal, and whose memory reminded everyone that revenge can punish evil, but it can never return the embrace of someone who should have lived.